Hey everyone, welcome back to Catching Up with the Walkers. We are right in the middle of bird moving and rescuing. Cassie just rescued one. I'll show you that in a second. But these are...
Don't they have a cool tint to them? They're kind of reddish.
Yeah, it's like...
these are the death layers.
It's like Reba McEntire or something.
Golden death layers.
Those are the golden. So we're going to move them out to the shop real quick.
Yep.
So we have been at school Thanksgiving luncheon. We just got home and Cassie realized that a chick was not doing very well. We've got two that hatched that are doing great, so we're taking them out here right now to put them in. And let me show you right now the ones that Cassie had to rescue. All right, so Cassie's doing rescue on a chick.
You got to get their, when they get, so I've pretty much got this chick out throughout the day myself, but you have to get a paper towel and get it wet because they get dried up inside and it's just all stuck to them. But how I know I can keep going is because it's not bleeding. If it starts bleeding, it means you've gone too far. Also, it's still kind of attached and that needs to work its way off.
Little guy's been trying and trying all morning. He had his shell wide open. It was halfway off, but he just couldn't get out of the shell, could he?
Nope, so turn it the right way. There it goes. Needs to do what it can by itself, but I had to get it wet. And then as you see, this one has pipped, and I do have this open, but I had to help its sibling. So I'll keep checking on it, make sure it's okay, but we do need to shut it.
Yeah.
Get flipped over a little.
So with a little help, that one hopefully is going to make it, but you got two that are doing real good.
Yeah, you're going to take that whole thing off. I don't trust you to not scout me.
Cassie wants me to lift it off. I was just going to hold it up. All right, I forgot you got to dip their beaks.
So they say. Get in there with it.
So it got down to 25 degrees last night. And the chicks are still doing awesome.
There's two in there from my eggs, and now there's two death layers in there with them. So
we have successfully hatched death layer chicks. These will probably go to Lori, just depending on Lori from LG Homestead. Just depending.
Well, they're her eggs. I was just hatching them for her. But if she would have had 12, I would have bought some for her, or she probably would have gave me one or two. But it looks like she's going to have 4. So we'll just have to see if they all end up roosters, hens, or what, and then go from there.
Yeah, because it might not make sense to keep a bunch of roosters. So if there are 2 or 3 roosters, you'll get one, she'll get one. But if they're all a rooster and several hens, hopefully, then she'll get them all.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to do a couple updates on this video. We've got you updated. You're current now on the death layer chickens. They're doing good. Cassie's awesome at hatching those eggs. I have no clue when to do what, but I had several people in our last video basically asking, why don't you show the cold room? The cold room is one of our favorite things. So today I'm going to show you the whole cold room and kind of do a review of the process I went through in building it and making our own place to hang and process deer. So before I go into the cold room though, I'm going to show you the first thing I did, and that is right behind me, and that is build a place to hang our deer from. So that's a new bird feeder we're trying out. It's actually a really cool bird feeder. It's got a camera that captures the birds eating their food and a solar panel. So also made use of that. But this is a perfect place to hang our deer up. If you want to scald a hog, you can get a good scald on a hog right here because it's close to the water hydrant, close to the cold room, and you're able to do it. I actually have a really nice wind block right here by my shipping container, and I'm going to stay out here for a second before I go inside. So the first thing that you will need if you go to build your own cold room, hanging room, is a room. And for me, it didn't make sense to take up extra room over here in my shop. I preferred to have a space all on its own. So I looked into building, just straight out pouring a slab and building a building. But for time's sake and to kind of have something portable if I ever wanted to move it, I went with a 20-foot shipping container. So I paid around $4,000 for this one trip shipping container. Whenever you start researching shipping containers, you're going to see all different prices, anywhere from $1,500. Hey, it's not time to eat yet, pigs. Give me a minute. They like to squeal when it's close to time. But anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000 is what you'll pay right now. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. So if you weren't around when I built this container in my cold room, then you might not know I put a switch in right here that senses movement. So if there's any motion in this room, the lights come on, and it's really worked out well because I don't have to worry about turning a switch on and off, and I also didn't have to run a switch all the way over here to the door. So that worked out well. So what I have is a 12-foot room outside of my 8-foot cold room that I have for my meat grinder, cutting table, for any supplies. You can see I've got some knives here I still need to clean up. I've got my big boiling pot. Right now I have this battery backup in here. So for some reason, if the electric goes out and I need to keep the air conditioner going, I can just move that inside and I have plenty of power in there. But let's get to the actual cold room itself. As you can see, CoolBot is what's making it possible. And I will be honest, I have not been in here in 4 days. So since I hung the deer up, I have not been in here. And I'll use this moment right now to provide a caution and a heads up to my subscribers. If you don't want to see a deer carcass, then whoop, turn the video off right now, because I am going into a cold room where we have hanging meat. It's just the carcass of a deer. I'm not going to do anything with it. It's just hanging. But I'm going to show you my cold room in action, and to do that, I have to show you the deer carcass. So it's just part of it. Let's see. So I've got this styrofoam. It's 4 inches thick. As you can see, I'm going to move that back out of the way and go ahead and pull my door to. So when we get inside the cold room, you can see temperature set. It's just said 36 degrees. There we go. I've got the air conditioner blowing cold right now, and I have my rails with my deer hanging. So this is the cold room. We built it with the styrofoam like this on the floor. It's also in these walls, and then on this wall, that wall, and the back wall, we actually have spray-in foam. So that is what we have as far as materials go. And then I keep these dish tub buckets. Those are great for being able to, when I get ready to process the deer and cut it up, I can put them in there. When I get grind meat or anything like that, that's what I'll use that for. Just has this one light in here, tied in with the other lights. Works great. But you can see I have a whole nother rail back here. I could hang 2 more deer, maybe 3, and I could probably hang 1, 2, 3 on this. So I'm guessing I could fit 6 deer in here if that's what I needed to do. So a lot of you guys said you wanted to see it. Well, there it is. You got to see it. Now I want to get out of here because it's cold. But when I go in or out, slide this back over. It's very simple. Pull it into place. And all that does is gives me an extra layer. Oh, I lost my hook. But it gives me an extra layer barrier of insulation. There we go. And that's just so if that goes backwards, it won't fall. It'll stay right there. But that gives me that extra layer of insulation in between that and the outside. So this is not a sponsored video of any type. This is just me showing you the room. But CoolBot has it down with technology. They have the technology figured out that takes a 12,000 BTU air conditioner turns it into a refrigerant unit more or less for a room this size. They also have an app. So this is the CoolBot app, and you can see I can monitor the temperature. That's the last hour, what the temperature was doing. I can go for a day. I can check out the whole day. You can see at nighttime when the little squiggly line gets lower, that's when the temperature was colder. When it gets higher, that was the daytime, and the air conditioner unit had to kick on more often. But we've had highs in the 40s and 50s, and the AC refrigerant unit only, compressor only kicks on about once or twice every hour. So it doesn't use that much electric that I can tell. We'll find out when I get my electric bill. But so far, you can see it was 36 a while ago. Now it's cooled it back down to 34 degrees. It'll come down to probably 31, go back up to about 37, and just fluctuate and keep the meat cooling. So some of you may be wondering why all the trouble to go through this mess, building my own room, all the expense of having my own place to process just for deer. I can take deer, oh, they're kicked on, you can see the lights flicker a little bit. I can take my deer to a processor, the Amish or somebody, but the problem I have with that is A, it's expensive. It'll cost around $100 to $120 every single time. B, I don't know 100% if I'm getting all the meat back that I took. Also, I don't know how careful they were at cutting the meat off the bone or anything like that. So I prefer to do it all right here. Like I said, this is the very first deer that's hanging in our cooler. Our meat grinder's still in the box, but we're going to be opening that up. A friend of mine, Greg Ray from Outdoor Solutions, he hooked me up with that brand of grinder. I was able to use it when I went to the Outdoor Solutions Field to Table event. I'm really excited though to try that out and see how it does with our first deer in our cold room. So, some of you basically said this is a farm channel. People should be open to seeing what's inside a cold room, and I agree with you 100%. It is a farm channel, and if people don't necessarily like what we hang on that rail and what we put inside there, they don't have to watch. I always try to give a fair warning when I'm going to talk about and do stuff like that. So there you go. That's what's going on in the cold room. That's what's going on with the chickens. So stick around though. We'll have a few more updates later on. Right now, I got to check the fire out. Oh, the fire's been so good. And I'm going to have to haul some wood up because our wood basket is looking pretty pitiful. So I came back outside to do some chores. Got my hat on. It is so cold. Cassie will not be out today. She's in with all the kids, and they have homecoming tonight at school. So she's doing stuff inside, getting ready for that. But I do want to say, if you guys have any questions at all about the cold room, about what I did when I built it, I know we have videos on Walker Farm Fam. There was multiple videos that we built it over time. We don't really have like a dedicated cold room build video. But if you have any questions, just drop those down in the comments. We respond to every comment that we get, or at least read it. I know a lot of times people leave comments on YouTube channels and they may or may not get a response. So we try to read every single comment. We try to answer questions mainly. We don't respond to a lot of comments if they don't require a response, but we do want to answer your questions if you have questions. But let's see. Right now, we got to get this feed. So, hey honey, I'll bring you guys along for feeding the animals up here close, but when I get on the tractor or four-wheeler, I'm going to have to put the camera up because it's just too cold. Honey, you got any crazy jumps? Honey has been acting a little bit jumpy, but today she's calmed down quite a bit. That's good. That's good, honey. Hang on, girl. There you go. Mariposa. Hey, Alfred. What do you think, boys? Hang on. Well, what do you think, Alvin? You think I should go ahead and tell him the secret? The secret's up. I'll go ahead and tell him. So you guys will see. There's a little Highland calf in here that's missing. She is no longer in with the alpacas. And that's because she's moved on with another herd. So I'm just gonna give you that hint. Where do you think she is? Do you think she's out with the Highlands somewhere? Do you think she's with the Angus? Where do you think she is? Coming soon on another video, but right now, all I can tell you is she's not here. So I got all the goats fed. Whew. It feels so much better in this little shed, goat shed. Xena, you're being a good girl. You guys, look how big Xena has gotten. I don't know if it's just because she got spayed or she's really eating her groceries good, but she is doing so good. She's got a lot of hair, a lot of fat, good condition for the winter, and the goats seem to be doing good. Alpacas, of course, they got their big winter coats on, and the cows. So I know that some people have asked questions about the cows in the past of how are they doing the winter time. They don't have any shelter. They don't have anywhere to go, but they more or less live in their shelter. So if you look along their back and you see that fat, you know that they're going to do good this winter. Now if you look at one and I don't see any, but they're skinny and they don't have any meat on their bones, they don't have much shelter. So you look at a cow, you can tell their shelter is around them. So as long as they have a good grain supplement, plenty of hay in front of them, and they go into the winter with a good condition, like they are right now, then they'll be just fine this winter. Xena, I don't think that cow likes you standing there. She's giving you the stink eye. Hey, 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 hey! Hey, hey, don't go at my cow like that. Don't look at me. You don't go at my cow like that. That is not nice, Xena. That is not nice. You be nice to my cows, okay? You just went right after her nose. What did she do to you? She wasn't gonna hurt you. You think she's gonna get your goats? Think she's gonna get your goats or your turkeys? All right, I won't hold you fully responsible, but it's partially. Whew. Well, I would love to take you around to show you all the animals, but my hands are too cold and I can't hardly operate a camera without gloves. So I want to get my gloves on, go feed the rest of the animals, and I'll catch back up with you guys in a little bit with Cassie inside where it's warm and not cold. So we're going to finish where we started, right here in the pantry. This time, Cassie is still saving chicks. I just saw her watering one with a droplet. You want to tell them what's going on there?
So I went out to the brooder to check on the chicks earlier, and this one was all but dead. So I put it under my shirt to keep it warm to come in, and I put it in this incubator because I knew it was the warmest place and I didn't want its siblings to start trampling it. So I gave it some time in there. Then I got this this little medicine thing, and I started just putting a little bit of water in its beak every so often, massaging it. I don't know, I was making stuff up, and now look at it.
It's doing good. That's awesome. So not only has Cassie been a chicken mom rescuer to one chick, but now she's rescued a second chick in one video.
And
look at that one.
This one is one that I had to help out of its egg. And it looks rough because it had lots of yolk and stuff on it. So it didn't absorb the yolk correctly, and it's slowly going down, but this was a huge bubble and it couldn't stand up, but now it's starting to be able to stand up. So I've been also watering it, and it is a fighter because it pecks me every time it gets a chance.
It's looking for food, huh?
Yep. So they can live off of the yolk for up to 48 hours, but I've been giving them water just to make sure they're not dehydrate and stuff. And then I may, depends on what they look like in the morning, I may bring a little brooder and keep them separate in the house. But if they're raring to go in the morning, they'll go out with the other ones.
So Cassie, you did a good job. Congratulations, rescuing 2 chicks in one day. I showed them the cold room earlier.
Okay.
And I have had a few comments about Cassie's deer that she got. And people are saying, why do you go out and kill a deer if you can just go to the store and buy meat? Where do you people think your meat comes from that you buy at the store? This has blown my mind. I just thought about that all day, and I'm like, where do they think their meat comes from?
A lot worse place than where that deer came from.
Well, the thing is, the whole thing is, every animal is at some point, unfortunately for that animal, but it's part of life, has to go to provide food.
It goes through a process.
It goes through a process, and most likely that process is not nearly as good as the life and the process that Cassie's deer went through to put food on our table. And we actually ate venison chili tonight, and it's really good. So my mind's still blown. I can't really say a whole lot except just answer that question. Where do you think those animals?
They'd rather me eat all these cookies.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Fresh venison.
Yeah, we need some meat in our lives. So anyway, you guys think about that. We'll just leave it there. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I've already thought about it enough today. Just blows my mind.
Yeah.
But prayer request. Cassie does have a prayer request.
Yes, Rachel over at Hidden Heights Farm, her mother. Be praying for Rachel's family and her mother. She is battling cancer, and Rachel did an update on their video, and it just doesn't seem like it's looking good or sounding good. But mainly she's just wanting peace and comfort for her mom. So be praying for that, and that God would just provide that.
Absolutely. We thank you guys so much for following along with our family. We hope you have a great day, and God bless.
Love you guys.